She's back. The one and only Beth Traverso is back for our Tuesday conversations about the great Seattle market. How you doing, Beth?
Hey, doing great, Mike. Always a pleasure to be back here with you and everybody. Thank you.
Yeah, so we're going to let everybody know about what's going on in your life in
Yeah,
video number two. So pay
yeah,
attention for that one. But video number one, we're going to talk about April. What happened in King County, aka Seattle, in
yes.
April? Sales, listing price, all the good stuff. What are you seeing in the April numbers?
Yeah, so we got our data from the Northwest MLS for April, and it's kind of coming to fruition, just exactly what we've been talking about over the past several months, where inventory is dwindling down. Still, prices are starting to bump up a little bit. Our median sale price is up to 875. We bottomed out at 800.
Okay.
And that was back in about January. I think we bottomed out around 800, and now we're up to 875.
Wow.
We're I think we're gonna have negative year over year numbers until we get to our July numbers. That's where I think I see the gap closing. And we talked about this months and months ago.
Oh yeah, we called this. I
We
I
love
told
to
people,
be
yeah,
right, and
early.
we admit it when we're wrong, but we love to be
Oh
right, right?
yeah, we got receipts, Beth. You and I got
Yes.
receipts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's playing out exactly like that, where we're seeing the negative year over year numbers, but it's so for King County overall, we're down 12% year over year for our median sales price,
That's
but
April to April, right?
April to April,
Yeah.
um,
And the reason, let's just remind people, if you haven't watched Beth and I talk about this, and again, we called this like 6 months ago, because last April you were paying 110% of average list price. That's
112. Yeah, it was
112. It's
112.
crazy.
Yeah, which is insane. And that's for the entire metro area, King County, which is about 2 million people. And now, and we dipped down to about 98.5 a few months ago, but now we're back to 101.5
Wow.
list to sale
So
price ratio. So typical home is selling for about 1.5% over list price, which is not the 112. That's not, I don't think,
that's
I
not
do not
normal.
see I can't see any way that would come back anytime soon. I hope it doesn't.
Me neither.
But
Yeah.
we are seeing now things are selling, the average house is selling over list price. And so as far as that, I think that trough, we were already through that trough. We're coming out of it. We're seeing the gap in we're seeing the sales prices creep up closer to where they were. We're seeing market time down,
Yeah.
where it was 33 days at the peak, and now we're down to 6 days.
Yeah, I want to say that again because people don't realize, again, the beauty of having a playlist, the beauty of coming back every week, which we thank you for on the channel, is people can go back in your playlist and watch what we were talking about in January.
Yeah.
And to remind people what January was like, it was like, wow, what everything stopped, right? November,
Mhm.
December, everything stopped. Inventory stacked up, i.e., you got to 33 days on market. We're like, wow, we're getting back to a normal market. And then out of nowhere, at least for most of the country, January 15th happens. Demand shows up, inventory keeps going down 20, active listings are down 20%, year on year. And now we're down to 6 days on market. You're not even a teenager. You're 6 days on market. That is wild.
Yes. So, and it's interest it's kind of a we have two different segments of the market. There's the houses that are taking longer to sell, that are kind of languishing out there a little bit, some of them. And then there's the ones that are just popping and selling really quickly. And we're starting to see, I notice as an agent in this area that there's certain core areas that when they heat up, then the areas on the periphery start to heat up too, like the Bellevue market, Sammamish market, for example, in city Seattle. There's these core areas that, like, once those start popping, I've never seen it be hot on the outskirts if it's not hot in those inner core areas. It's kind of like the
Makes
rings
total
that go
sense.
outward.
Yeah.
So
So it starts here. And
yeah.
then as that gets super hot, it kind of goes that
Yeah.
way.
And if somebody's
So
like, for example, I know this is all hyper local, but if some like Sammamish, super tech heavy area near me, and if that area is cold and not moving, I'm not seeing people move out to my area, which is just right next door on the rural side of things. I'm not seeing it hot there if it's not hot in Sammamish. But now
got it.
Sammamish is jumping again, where people are like, whoa, I can't touch a house in Sammamish. I'll go look in these other areas instead because that's more doable for us.
Mm,
That's kind of how the psychology works for people. It's like, oh, if Bellevue's too hot, I got to move out a little bit to
got it.
one of the other areas on the outskirts or a little further out.
Yeah. So first and foremost, I want to put it on the video. Happy Mother's Day. We
Thank
just
you.
finished Mother's Day
Yeah,
on Sunday, so happy Mother's Day. The entire
thanks.
One Rental at a Time family wishes you happy Mother's Day.
Thank you.
But the reason I bring that up is traditionally, again, at least as a country, you correct me if I'm wrong in Seattle or King County, Mother's Day is kind of the official end of the spring selling season,
Yeah.
which to me means normally, right, in a normal market, inventory comes in the spring because people want to sell and buy and move in the summer, right? Historically speaking, at least for most of the country, inventory never came. I'm curious where the spring selling season ended, for Seattle and King County.
It's weird because I feel like it's starting now for the first time, and I can never
Oh,
say that I ever saw the selling season starting in May. This is
interesting.
a very interesting market. It's not behaving by the normal patterns. Um, but because we did see last year, it was Easter was when we saw things take a turn. And the year
Right.
before that, it was Mother's Day. It's funny. It is like it's on these holiday weekends that you see all of a sudden, like the open house activity will just evaporate,
Right.
and offer houses will go past the offer review date. That's how we would see. Oh wait, the house is still in the market. Didn't get any offers. What's going on? And then once people start to wonder what's going on, then everybody just hits the brakes, takes their foot
Mm,
off the gas, waits to see what's going to happen, and that makes things drop more.
yeah.
So this year, I haven't seen that. I did notice in April that we have 38% less new inventory year over year.
Okay.
So
Wow,
that's
that's
impacting things
that's
because last
significant.
April of 2022, we had about 3,300 active, or sorry, new. And in 2023, we have 2021 new listings. So that's
So
quite a big
roughly
drop of new listings.
40% drop in new listings,
Hmm.
roughly.
Yeah.
Wow. That has
So
to
they're
just be
just
people staying put. I mean, that's the only answer, right? The move
people
up
staying
buyers not.
put, and that explains why we're having, because we have had beautiful weather here in the Seattle area the past few days. And
Mhm.
normally that would mean that over the weekend, if it's sunny, people would just be gone. Like we're out, we're going hiking, we're going somewhere, we're going to the water, we're out of here.
Mm.
And we didn't see that. We had very busy open houses over the weekend. People are out there shopping because there's still those people out there that want to buy a house and need to get a
Yeah.
house, and there's been nothing for sale and they need something. And the clock is starting to tick. If they have kids that are getting ready to get out of school, they have summer plans, they need to get settled before school starts again in the
Mm.
fall. Those are the people that are out there looking, and they're motivated. I think
Yeah.
they realize that nothing's really going to change drastically as far as interest rates or inventory, or
Do you
there's
hold
not going to
out
be.
any hope that the spring selling season was truly delayed and inventory starts to come? Because that's really seems to be the missing piece in most of the country is new listings aren't coming. And maybe again, right? Just reading the headlines, maybe all these tech layoffs and all this stuff is coming, and maybe in Sammamish there's going to be more inventory coming. I have no idea, but do you see more inventory coming? Maybe.
No, I think what I should clarify about when we're talking about spring selling season, I'm thinking about
Okay, got it.
buyer
Okay,
demand, and you're
okay.
talking about new listing inventory. And it is true, you need both of those, and I'm seeing half of that more than I
Wow.
was seeing before. So we were seeing some buyer demand before that was keeping things balanced, but now it just seems to be more lopsided with more buyer demand than inventory, and that
Yeah.
disparity is getting wider,
Yeah.
and
So
that's
I
fueling the bidding wars, et cetera. They're starting to
yeah.
surface again.
Let me share some data because before I speak with you, I'm lucky enough to speak from Omar in the high desert, right? Totally different market, half the price point, all of that stuff. But we just did some searches and single family homes below the median price, there was only 107 active listings. Now he estimates the population for the area that he serves at about 800,000. There's 107 available homes below the median. I don't care if demand drops 50%. If supply drops 80, you still are out of whack. And
Yes.
I think that's happening across the country.
Yes. And I can drop in the comments later with what our inventory is below the median. I could look that up for you, but I want people to wait while I'm doing it.
Yep,
But I
no
just know
problem.
anecdotally that for what I've been seeing out here when I watch the daily numbers is that it is dropping, and we are a little bit better year over year. All so like total active for April 2023 was 1,842 versus 1,572 last year. But I got to remember, last year was extreme deficit, like the lowest that has ever been for inventory. There was a time when we had triple digits in the entire, of all price points in King County, which is a 2 million population area, so it was so close to life support, but and we had the very low interest rates that just fueled the fire. And that's what we're working our way through now with these year over year numbers that are showing the losses, but actually our prices have been going up since January.
Mhm. Yeah.
So, which is
It
which is a seasonal trend,
Sure.
that seasonal trend is happening. And last year when those prices started dropping, and well, we started seeing it in May, but by the time those houses sold and the
Right.
data hit the spreadsheets, then it was June, July, so July was when we saw that big crash, if
Yeah.
you will. And then we're going to be meeting that. I think the
Yeah.
headlines in a couple of months are going to be really different. It's not going to be prices are down. It's going to be, oh, prices are up. Prices
Yeah.
are
Yeah.
holding steady year over year.
Yeah. I guess the big question, kind of wrapping up video number one today, is kind of where we go from here. And if you're not getting the new listings, you have days on market of six. Six. It's just wild to think about. And then, of course, what we've learned again on your playlist is interest rates matter. July of last year, when interest rates broke 7, market froze. That's when we got to 33 days on market. Now we're in an environment where I'm at least predicting rates trend lower once we get past this nonsense of the debt ceiling. And if we break 6%, I could not imagine King County, Seattle breaking 6% average 30-year rate, which means some people are getting 5.5 and 5.25. What's going to happen to the demand if inventory is not there? I mean, it breaks my head to think about that.
Yeah, I felt a little shot of anxiety when you said that, actually, because but I see that, and it's great when you're a seller, but a lot of sellers are buyers as well, so it just brings back that tension where there's not enough on one side or the other, but demand is there, supply is not. That's what was fueling things some last year too. Everyone knew they could sell their house for some crazy price, but then they had to jump into that insanity, and a lot of people just didn't want to. Or it took a lot of really carefully planned strategy to get somebody to be able to sell and buy in that market where things were so out of whack. And I don't think we're going back to that again, like I said, but but I do think we are going to have this. It's going to shift more in sellers' favor. I know a lot of people don't want to hear that, but
What's
that's what it's
coming?
looking like. And as real estate investors, we always look about how to make the market work, whatever is going on. So,
Agreed.
mm-hmm.
So if somebody wanted to buy or sell in King County, or better yet, get a referral to another top 1% agent, how would they reach out to you?
Yeah, so if somebody wants to reach out to me, I'm easy to find, BethTraversogroup.com, or you can just reach out to me on social and I'll get back to you guys. And yeah, I've been connecting with people all over the country through the One Rental at a Time community, and it's been a lot of fun.
Yeah. Again, folks, if you want a referral, it's always best to get a referral from somebody in the top 1%. And that is, of course, Beth Traverso. Thank you
Yeah,
so much.
thank you. Take care.